Woo! Hey guys, my name is David Cho, and okay, why did I say my last name? Just starting it. Sup YouTube, my name is David. Last year I took the scary big monster MCAT, actually improved my score by 19 points. I went from a 496 to a 515. And so I wanted to help you guys, as I know that it can be a very traumatizing, scary, anxiety-producing time. And so follow these tips. I'm going to share with you what I did. Yeah, so let's get on with the video. Okay, so for content review, I used the Kaplan sources. There's a Kaplan set of notebooks out there that will take you and review everything that you need to know for the MCAT. People have talked about different companies being useful for different things. Honestly, everything you really should have learned from school anyway. In fact, actually, something that I wish I used instead of Kaplan is MEM, N-E-M, from Med School Insiders. Dr. Kevin Jabal has put something together for the MCAT for people who wanted to do content review, but in a way that uses spaced repetition. And so if that is something that sounds great, go check them out. They're actually cheaper than I think most content review books are going to be. And I highly recommend going there just because it's more individualized and it will get you far. On that same topic, most of my friends have told me that actually taking classes for the MCAT doesn't really work so well because they're doing the same thing in the same program for everybody. And that's kind of a bad thing because everybody's coming in from different places. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses and knowledge bases. And so I would not recommend that. The only thing I would see that useful for is if you need some kind of extrinsic motivation. But in reality, if you need extrinsic motivation, you should really question why you want to be a physician in the first place. I hope that you have intrinsic motivation to do well on this test and to demonstrate to medical schools your ambition and your dedication to become a physician. Treat this as your first step. That's it for content review. I did about 3 months of content review. I could have gone faster, but I really slacked off and I was, work-life balance is really important to me. So I didn't spend an awful amount of time studying for the first 3 months. Okay, so next phase is practicing. And this is probably the most important phase of all. Content review is just your step in the door, your marathon. You don't really step in the door for a marathon, do you? Think of it as the bulk, the meat, the main course of your meal. This is the bread and butter. There's been a lot of studies that have shown that the more practice questions that you do, the better your score actually becomes. I'm going to go in a little bit on the science on this because I am a psychology major and so I love telling people about the psychology of learning. Desirable difficulty is what they call it in the scientific literature. And that is just making your learning sessions harder to do in your mind, which is practice tests, active recall, flashcards. These things are very uncomfortable ways to study, but they're more effective in the long run. And because of that, they're difficult, but they're desirable because they're more effective. Rather than passively just reading over your notes and reviewing the things that you missed and not really applying them. The practice portion is so important. I recommend getting your hands on every single material from the AAMC. That is the most accurate material and that is the material that you should use to gauge your progress because frankly, no other company has really done a good job in making their tests seem like AAMC. And because of that also, I would save maybe the last 2 months before your actual test day to dive into all the AAMC material. The section bank, however, I wouldn't time yourself while you're going through the section bank. Think of it as the most difficult questions on the MCAT, but all like jumble up together. And so what you really want to do in the section bank is take your time, try to like dissect the test. And so questions will ask certain things and you can maybe go back to the passage and highlight where you would find that information. And that way, when you're reading a similar passage in the future, you know that they're going to ask you a question about a certain thing. It could be active sites or mutations in the active sites, or the fact that it mentioned that this particular protein was, you know, a specific type of protein. That is practice review. Okay, friends. Test week. I know there's a bunch of people that can struggle with test anxiety, and I did myself. Before test day, you really want to slow down. You really don't want to do anything the day before your test. You just want to relax. I am lucky enough to have a hot tub at my house, so I just spent a good amount of time soaking in the soapy water. Consider going for a walk. Go hang out with some friends. Don't do anything too intellectually stimulating that you would find yourself being fatigued by. Test day, you've done the work, you've done a good job. Just do your best. Don't stress about potentially failing it, but look at it as an opportunity to show your dedication, your passion, your drive, and the amount of knowledge you've accumulated over your past 3 years of taking pre-med courses. And yes, the obvious person will say, well, none of these things are useful for medical school, so why should I even bother with it? I'm not gonna need to know it anyway. Well, that is true. However, the skills that you develop while studying for the MCAT and dissecting these questions are going to help you in diagnosing patients in the future, help you critical think about everything, which is so important as a physician. And it's an opportunity to demonstrate your drive. And so it is not easy. However, me looking at it from the other side, I'm here to spur you on and say, hey, you can do it. If you have any questions about how I studied or things that I found hard to do, I am so happy to answer those questions for you. Just leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I will have more videos here in the future for you guys. See you later.